car did derail, it's probably for some other reason. But generally, that's the problem. Cars are too light. And a light car doesn't want to roll down the hump yard very well either. It likes to be between 4 and 5 ounces. I had one car that was weighed about 9 ounces. Somebody filled a tank car full of lead shot, and it didn't roll any further than the cars that were the right weight. I took the weight out and the car rolled about the same. Okay, that last car we looked at is back in service. I'm going to send him down the track too. He's going to Texas. Okay, real slow. Ah, nice gentle coupling down there. Let's take a look at the yard now and see where we're at. Well, track number 4 is full of cars. I don't dare let any more down there to make the train bigger. What you could do, you could sort out all the cars you can, they'll fit on that track, and have an engine bring them down the line and put them on the siding. You can build up that train longer by other trains coming in the hump and switching cars in that track 4, and it departs and hooks up with those cars down the siding. Now you got a big train. If you had a longer hump yard, that would work too. The other tracks look pretty good. They're getting filled up. And you might run into trouble trying to hump more cars on that. That's where that longer yard would come in handy, wouldn't it? Oh, we still have that road engine up there. I'm just going to bring him back down the yard and use him for another train. One of these trains that we made up here. So we ease him down the hump yard all by himself. A little bit coming down that hill. When it hits the flat track, you might have to give him a little bit more power. See how he does. Where's that coupling sound? A little quick with the sound box, ain't I? Anyway, we stopped. That's our stop signal. Now these turnouts are selective control. In other words, when I throw a turnout, that track will be dead. So I'm going to let that engine creep back a little bit, and I'll throw the turnout and just stop. See? So you can park your engines when you have that set up. It's all because there's insulating blocks way down the far end. And when that turnout is thrown right, it powers the track. But when I throw the turnout, remember the frog? It powers everything. And when I throw the switch, well, it shuts it off. There's a couple cars sitting here on the storage track. I've had these guys a long time. One of the boys decided to put a load on it. It's a piece of flagstone. You put it on top of there, wrap some Campbell chain around those stakes. Oh, you could really trick it out, I guess, by taking wood, using that for the stakes instead. But it's just a project to work on. Another car here is another flat wheel Grande. It's got some packaged lumber loads on it. Yeah, there's a lumber company up there in northern Minnesota, or northern Arizona, I forget where I live, and it's called Saginaw Manistee. It was a Michigan company that came to Arizona in the logging business. Of course, they didn't have packaged lumber in those days, but I went ahead and printed out some paper on a computer and wrapped it around these wood blocks to make it look like packaged lumber. And a little bit of weathering, that helps the car. Here we have a Santa Fe boxcar with some graffiti on it. No weathering on it yet, waiting for the decals to dry. And there's another one. That might be a little bit too modern to have graffiti on these old-time cars, but I thought it looks good. Then this here Rome Cajon, that was a car I got at a train meet. I haven't weathered that one yet. Now here's a reefer car. It's got a little bit of whitish on it. That could be from the water that leaks out of the cars. You know, you get calcium deposits on the cars, and you get kind of a whitish look. You see that with stock cars too. kind of whitish looking. That's because of the disinfectant they use on the cars. Now, there's only one car that derailed this whole process. I don't know if you noticed that or not. That was the first one I let go. It was cruising really fast and smacked its caboose and it derailed. You know what? There are no derailments. No derailments in this upyard. It's amazing. It's all because we weighed the cars, we went through that process of showing you how to get the wheels so they roll nice, how you gauge the height of your car so the coupler air hoses don't snag, and clean the crud off the wheels. You know, you get crud on the wheels, and they'll actually start derailing cars. There's hardly any flange left to keep the car on the rails. And you notice in front of Ambrosio there, there's no rail laid on those ties. Well, they'll be hand laid there around the corner. But to the right over here, you start seeing some Flex-Trac, some Atlas Code 83 rail, plastic ties, number 8 turnouts. That's going to be future staging, and it's going to be visible. We'll call that area Holbrook. No, maybe Winslow sounds better. They have a fuel station there where they fill up the trains and change crews. That'll probably be Winslow. And I have to have a place for those big passenger trains. Gotta hide them somewhere. Get them out of the way so I can run trains through. This will actually be a second time around the walls part of the layout, so I can double the mileage of these trains. And of course I have to leave one track open to get those freight trains through. I've been in the scenery business about 16, 17 years. I haven't even told you what I put here. This is one of my first products that came out. It's called Yard Mix. But there was a magazine article in N-Scale magazine about a yard over there in Washington State. And I took a good look at that, and I went to my warehouse, and I says, you know, I could duplicate that. So I start off by using my Yard Mix product, which is a mixture of black cinder basalt, so it's got kind of a broken up color of darks and lights, mostly dark. But then yards have a lot of fines thrown in there too. So I put some black cinder in there, here and there to soften up the texture, make it look a little finer. And I glued all that in place. Then I put a little bit of sandhouse sand in some places, because those engines, they dribble some sand. And the guys take those air hoses on and off, and say a valve gets stuck, well, the engine loses too much air, so it goes in emergency. When it goes in emergency, the sanders come on, and leaves little dribble marks all along the tracks where those engines park. Then the fourth thing I did, after that was all glued in place, I put a little ash powder down, number 1230, to simulate the real ash that might have been in the clinkers, because they use steam era clinkers, you know, out of the ash pit. Spread that around the yard a little bit to use it up, and leaves a little bit white residual places. So all those things are very subtle things that you do, but it makes the scene look a lot better. Let's take a look at some of that track down there. This whole area here is considered yard track, even though there's a main line that goes over there on the left. But notice the tie spacing. That's plastic Flex-Trac, and I removed about every 5th tie and slid the ties down to space them again, leaving a wider spacing. That makes it look more light duty. I believe this here is code 70 right now. Then of course you want to color the sides of your rail so you don't see that shiny metal, and went and stained the ties different hues of grays and browns and black to make it look like the ties are of various ages. You got to be real careful about getting too much ballast around those switch points. What I do is, just before I lay the rail, I bore a big old hole right down through the roadbed. You don't see it because the tie bar is there. I put that big hole through there, just about a drill bit that would just clear these switch ties. And that allows any dirt or ballast to fall right through. And you can actually sweep stuff out of the way and let it drop through that hole. That keeps those rails from clogging up and dragging on the ties when you get too much ballast or glue. Glue? Oh, you don't want any of that. Sometimes I put a little oil there before I ballast it. Glue won't stick to oil, right? There's an area here with no scenery. In fact, I'll make the bench work a little bit wider here. There's room. This will be for my diesel engine service, with some tracks and some buildings. Just everything you could imagine that might go in a diesel service facility. Right now our engine service is somewhere else in the layout, and that's a whole new video. Talk about that. Okay guys, I proved one thing. Got these freight cars working real good. I can really cruise with them. You want to see a highball? It's all done with this little throttle. This Caveman Electronics. I made this 30 years ago. Still works good. Oh, I push a little bit with 18 volts, but it really makes them trains go. You ready? You see that? See that GP35 down there? Aggressive Blue? Well, he's going to be our road engine for this run. Hear the engines? You guys ready? I'm ready. Okay, let's highball. A little bit of light. We'll take her off slow just to fool you a little bit. Okay, wide open throttle. Up out of the hump yard. Hear the little wheel spin? Just wait till I get it on a flat. You lying now, guys? I'll race you anytime. Right through my workshop area. I gotta stop it here. Oh no, the Grand Canyon Limited's up there. Stop. You knucklehead, stop just in time. Don't you see a red light? You don't have permission to go. You got the Grand Canyon Limited here. The guy's almost smashed into him. Oh well, that's another story. Oh, we're back now with part 2 of the video. I totally changed that hump yard around. I decided to go with those Intermountain wheel sets. They roll really nice. And that's a good thing, because I was able to solve a couple other problems I had with this yard. The main line had to go right through, and that steep hump was just too much for my passenger trains. So we'll run a passenger train and I'll show you how nice they look right now going through that yard. I've recently spent quite a bit of time updating these passenger trains. Right there is El Capitan, like the 1939 version with the shovel nose. Let's move him out a little bit.